Well, we're going to continue our discussion with the Region Jazz directors, and it's been great so far because I've gotten to meet some new people through these interviews. I really, really have enjoyed that. Today, however, I get to hang with one of my ultimate best buddies. Man, I'm so excited. He's directing the Region 3 Senior High Band, and a pleasure for all of you to meet Brian Height, my man, my buddy. How are you, pal?
I'm good. How are you, EP?
Great, man. So we're doing this hang right now so that anybody auditioning for Region 3 Jazz for the high school level gets a chance to meet you, maybe find out a little bit about you, about your path, and maybe some things that, planning on doing with the program and yada, yada. So I'm not going to yak too much. I'm going to leave that to you because I know you can talk. So, but that said, why don't I set the tee up for you, man? How about introducing yourself? I know you're a local guy, so maybe where you went to high school, college, and how long you've been involved in teaching.
Okay. My name is Brian Height. I currently teach at Overbrook High School. Before that, I should say actually 22 years at Overbrook High School, believe it or not. So just watching the Jim Mark interview, he started Cherry Hill at the same time I was starting at Overbrook. And I taught a year at Riverside High School after I graduated from Rowan with my undergrad. And before I went to Rowan, I am a North Jersey guy. That's the reason I know you're going to get all over me. I know. That's why I like the Giants. North Jersey blood, So I went to Mars Hills High School, and that was Region 1 for me. But when I came down to South Jersey for Rowan, I just kind of stayed here. So I've been here ever since. So
you would say this is an improvement from the North Jersey blood that you have down here in the far south.
Green, you start the Eagles chant at me, yeah.
Oh man, how about throughout your exposure to music throughout your life, what do you feel like was the point where you really felt like music ed was your calling? Where was something, or like maybe some spot where it really hit you, like, man, I really want to get involved with this? When did it hit you?
I grew up in a music family. My dad was a band director and musician, and my mom played piano. We played in church, so I started at a young age, and had some really cool opportunities doing stuff with my mom and my dad. My dad played in community groups. So
I got to ask you really quick. Are you in your own house? Because I hear dogs barking back there. Are you in your own place?
House. Yeah. Yeah, I put them out in the hallway before they started doing that right here in the middle of the interview because I knew it was the only matter of time.
Bro, that's what you do to me on the wedding band gigs. You put me out in the hallway if I get a little too crazy. Go ahead, man.
So anyway, I enjoyed playing elementary school, middle school. It really things just started taking off in high school, getting involved with the marching band, played in the pit orchestra. I was playing percussion, playing drums as well, playing clarinet and saxophone. And then probably my junior year, music was always a part of what I was doing, always around me. So all of a sudden, it just seemed like it just kept on emerging and emerging to take the forefront as I was getting ready to prepare for college. I thought about doing architecture or engineering because I was really interested in doing drafting and designing.
Wow.
And I was just like, you know what? I'm helping students, my peers, and it seemed like it was coming so natural. I was like, why not just go to music education? It just seemed like it just took off. And I auditioned, and here I am.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you done? Well, I know you have, but just for the sake of discussion, this is not your first time doing Region Jazz.
It is not.
Right. So maybe some memories from previous Region bands experience that you had, maybe that stand out. How many times you've done this before? That sort of thing.
Okay. This is my third time doing Region Jazz. My second time as the high school director. And my first time, believe it or not, was I think Jim Mark said it was 03 when he hosted at Cherry Hill. I thought it was 04. But either way, 18 years ago, Jim and I was the high school director. He was the middle school director.
Oh, wow.
At his school, and now we're back doing it again.
Wow.
It's really cool. It's just really neat to have that again, and we're good friends too. So I did the high school group at that time, and man, what a killer group of kids it was. Just, man, talent all the way around, and just the music that we were able to do. And then I think it was 4 years later, and I thought it was '08 that I did the middle school group, and I think Jeff Kunkel was actually the high school director that year.
Cool.
Another very good friend and just awesome musician. He did the high school Region 3 group, and I was the junior high director. And so here we are several years later. Actually, it's funny, because I've been the high school Region 3 director ever since this pandemic started. So I think I've been the longest Region 3 high school honors jazz director.
Yo, we're
Well,
gonna we gotta vote you out next year, man. We gotta try to get the vote together, right?
oh my God.
uh, how
It's
about when you were a kid growing up? Did you participate in region bands like this? Was auditioning for bands something that was a part of your like middle school, high school years?
yeah, it was. I have quite an interesting background with that. Like, we had an area band and region band, which I made when I was in middle school. And then when I went to high school, I didn't audition for the region one bands or the jazz bands. At the time I was playing basketball, so it was kind of like there was always going to be like a conflict of something. But I auditioned for all state choir. I made all state choir 3 years in a row, and so there was like always like vocal and instrumental going on in what I was doing. And so always worried about the conflict, especially doing like a region thing, a region audition, and having the rehearsals mixed in with trying to handle a basketball season. I was just like, you know, I know where I'm at. I'm taking some private lessons. I'm doing, all these other things to make it work. So it seemed like it just kind of like ironed out, but it was always something I kicked myself for not committing to and saying, you need to do it, work the schedule out.
Right.
So for all those students who are just kind of like, I'm doing sports, and you can make both work. The coach and the director will understand, especially when you try and find a balance between the both. So, I was able to do sports and music, and found a way to make it work and be successful. So
Awesome. Any ideas about what material you're thinking about doing with the band this year? Have you given any thought to charts or any kind of programming?
well, I've had the charts prepared for 2 years now. So
You sunk your teeth in and you're not moving.
so anyway, when I was asked to do this 2 years ago, I thought it would be a really, really cool opportunity to feature friends of mine, and composer friends of mine. So one of them is the person interviewing me, you, bud. One of your tunes is going to be featured on our concert. Dennis De Blasio, one of my teachers. Uh, let's see who else that I was talking to.
You have more than two friends?
More than two, yeah. It's three and the dogs, but what I mean.
Man, you got the dogs writing too?
Oh, I got Cecil Bridgewater. You remember Cecil
How
Bridgewater
could I
from
forget? Of
Allstate?
course.
We're gonna have one of his tunes. Great trumpet player.
Nice.
Did I get? I'm trying to think if I got Mike Tamaro or Jeff Jarvis. I think I was in contact with both of them.
Great.
Both, again, all state conductors.
Mhm.
I think they've both been at either possibly featured as Rowan guest artists too. But um, great composers.
Mhm.
And I think I even did. I might even have a Bob Florence tune in there. Of course, one of my all-time, heroes.
Mhm.
So, but this programming this for the students, I'm so excited to not only share with them some of the people that are friends and that I enjoy, and that I also enjoy their writing, just to give them a little bit of the history, and say, hey, I remember when, you know, for example, I remember when Earl wrote this piece, and you know, he was writing it doing such and such, and introduce it that way, and the kids start to at least get a little bit more of a connection with other people, and I hope that at the same time they get excited about the pieces too, just to make them come to life, and we swing it and have fun.
That's awesome. I guess one more question that I have for you, maybe any advice that you'd give to any students that are maybe on the fence about auditioning. Should I do it? Should I not? Anything you'd like to maybe say to them to either inspire or encourage?
Sure. I would say inspiration to encourage would say go for it. What's the worst? What's the worst that could happen? Everybody's always said that before. Um, is that you don't make it in? And you know what? As Jim Mark was saying in his interview, and it was like, absolutely, you didn't make it. Is that the worst that could happen? I don't think so. But you know, it's something to come back and say, you know what? If I improve on this and improve on that, I can make it next year. You know, and I can, maybe that's the fuel for you to come back and even practice and work harder to become a
Mhm.
better musician, become a better player on your instrument. You know, don't sell yourself short. Go for it. You got to reach for the stars. You got to put it out there because you never know if you would, what if you didn't take the audition and you would have made it? How do you know unless you go through the process? So put your best foot forward. If you feel like there's certain spots in your solo in your audition, scales, prepare to scales that go to those weak spots and work on them. Don't shy away from them, but give it your best effort.
Awesome. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, brother, that's all I got for you, man. I appreciate your time so much, and I hope the cats down in Region 3 get a chance to check this out. I know they're going to have a great time with you, man. I love you. You're an
I
awesome
am
teacher, man.
looking so forward to this. Thank you so much for your time, EP, Mr. Earl Phillips, and I appreciate you putting all this together.
My man. All right. Have a great one, buddy. And I will see you on Saturday, or no, Friday and Saturday this weekend, right?
Friday and Saturday.
Whole bunch, man.
Absolutely.
All right,
All right,
man.
buddy.
Peace.
Hopefully to see these students coming out. Take
Yep.
care.
Sounds good. Peace.
Peace.